Hi, I'm Sam. I'm the co-founder of Kingdom Impact Lab along with my wife Tattoo, and in this video I want to share with you the process that I went through myself in order to identify what my purpose in life was after spending years of struggling and failing to find out the different things I have gone through, the worksheets I've created for myself, the journaling, the reflections I've done, and how I have essentially built this. And I'm at the point of being able to condense this excuse me, into a simple framework so that I can help and coach other people who are currently going through a similar experience to what I went through for several years. And hopefully I can help you and coach you and guide you on how you can solve the problem that you might be experiencing, where you may find you don't have, you're a bit disillusioned, burned out, you can't really integrate what you want to integrate in your business that's aligned with faith and biblical teachings in a transactional world. Before we dive in, there's two quick points. The first is the purpose of these videos is for me to help and develop my own understanding of certain topics. So, I don't know where this video is going to go. I don't know how the video is going to end. So I would like to invite you on the journey. It also means that if I'm developing my own understanding, so then I can steward my gift of insatiable curiosity for knowledge and learning and developing my understanding of things, and what I'm told is my gift of articulation and insights. It allows me then to steward this gift better in the future, so that I can clearly articulate things in a way that people will understand. That's how it is. So it means that the video won't be perfect. I don't necessarily mind, and I'd like to invite you on that journey with me. The second thing is that I record these videos in a batch, and my phone stand has disappeared, which I suspect my son has taken it out of the room. So the whole setup of the camera is not great at the moment, because I'm kind of using a makeshift phone stand. It is what it is. Hopefully I can find it later today, so next time I do, the setup will be better. So let's dive in. So first of all, I want to talk about the framework that I'm developing to help Christian entrepreneurs who find that they are struggling operating a business in a secular, transactional marketplace, business world, workforce, whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. You struggle because it's hard to find intrinsic meaning in the work that you do if you're operating in a transactional workforce. You may have your business and your business set up where you are trying to achieve certain goals which you've defined based on worldly secular metrics, but you are struggling to find meaning, purpose, and how to integrate your faith into it. So a little bit of background on me. So I helped businesses who had a high ticket offer, which would be priced at realistically between $2,000 to $10,000 per unit, and I would help the client sell more units of those offers. That's what my background is. My background is that my own services as a freelancer and marketing agency were high priced offers similar to that. The clients that I work with also had high priced offers, my role was to help them get book calls and help them make more sales. but I never found any meaning in that, other than chasing money, making more money, return on investments, all of these things, and it just didn't align with me, didn't work. Ultimately, I closed my agency and wanted to focus on something different, where there is intrinsic meaning, where I can use my past experiences and my past suffering and pain to help people that were in a similar situation to me. When I closed my business in February 2025, I spent probably close to 1,000 hours in total, studying, researching, learning, reflecting, talking to people, all of these different things to try to understand my own meaning and purpose in life, which I'm on the path to discovering, and maybe I have discovered it, but I can't really say for certain this is it, because things evolve and change over time. I remember, I think it was Os Guinness, he's published, I don't know, I think he published 80 books or something, maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. And I remember listening to him talk once on a audio, and he said that when it comes to your calling, your purpose in life, what you say it is in your 20s and your 30s may be very different when you're in your 50s or 60s. So, maybe mine's going to change. Probably it is. I don't know. But I'm at a point where I'm confident I know what my purpose is at this time in my life. I know the people that I can help with it. They're people that are similar to me. You are a Christian entrepreneur with a high-priced offer, and I can show you how to find meaning in what you do. I can show you how to integrate your faith and Christian principles, which gives you meaning in what you do, in order to spread kingdom impact through your business, and be helping with all of that. And basically, my own journey started off so it was deep diving into research and reading books, audio books, studying the Bible. I did a deep dive into the Sermon on the Mount, where I spent a couple of months working on that. At the moment, I've got a document where I think there's about 80 pages in the document from my own research, and each single point, I look at each point in Sermon on the Mount from a psychological perspective, from theological perspective, the application of it, all these things. That's kind of a work in progress, but that's forming the blueprint on how I can build my business and operate it on biblical principles. I spent a lot of time researching calling, how to know if it's your calling or not, what you need to do. I found the solution for me is that you have to have a vision. You need a really clear vision, but you need to anchor what your vision is in something solid, on foundation, something that's not going to be moving. For Christian entrepreneurs, that is to anchor your vision in what it means to become Christ-like in what you do in your business. You can then cast a vision based on that. That becomes your North Star, so to speak, above money. So it means that if you cast a vision on business vision, on kingdom impact, on multiplying your impact, using your business to steward your gifts to influence people, to share the gospel with people, or just if you want to be operating in a more subtle way, just to act out of extravagant love, integrity, humble service, pursuit of excellence in what you do, naturally people are going to be drawn to you. You're going to become magnetic, which allows you then to introduce the gospel to them if you want. If not, it's okay. It's up to you. But having this higher order vision is what you anchor yourself in, not on the worldly goals of making money, the pursuit of money and various things. That is your solid foundation. That's what you do. So the first step is first you have to anchor your identity, what it means to become Christ-like for you. That's what an easy activity to do. You can use ChatGPT to help. The second thing is you need to cast a vision for your business in your unique situation, your unique business, what you do. For me, I want to help to start off with Christian entrepreneurs with a high ticket offer that have gone through a similar experience to me. you're transformative, you want to help people through your business, but you're in a transactional environment, a transactional secular workforce, and it just doesn't seem to fit. And I can show you how you can do that by casting that vision first, and then you anchor yourself in that. The next thing would be to get clarity on what your purpose is, your calling. Again, for Christians, it's pretty easy what the big purpose is, and that's aligned with biblical principles. You want to become Christ-like. You want to share the gospel, impact others, multiply your impact. I can show you how to do that in your business. You need to get clarity on what your unique gifts are. When you can find what your unique gifts are, this could be your abilities, the unique situation you're in, the target audience that you have. It can be the kind of people that you work with, a whole bunch of different things. If you get clarity on what the gifts that you have, and then you can appreciate what you have, you can then adopt the mindset of how you can steward them for the benefit of others. So for me, one of my gifts is I'm very studious. I'm very happy to spend hours and hours a day learning and developing my understanding on things. I find it to be fun. As a result of me doing that for many, many years, I've been told that I'm also gifted at articulating things and I'm insightful as a result of me pursuing this for a long period of time. And so therefore the best way for me to steward my gift is going to be to teach and help others, because otherwise my studying and learning to develop my own understanding on things is inherently selfish. But if my purpose is to then teach others and to share my wisdom and to have a benefit on others, then it is for other people, and then that aligns with what it means to become Christ-like. So for you, in your situation, it would be to help you identify what gifts you have. Maybe you're aware, maybe you're not. I know how to do. We can talk so we can find out what your gifts are as a result of what you think they are. I can help you uncover them by myself. Like I said, people said I'm quite insightful on things like this. You be the judge of it. I don't know. I'm just going on what people say. If you have a business, I know how to objectively find out what your gifts are. In fact, I've recently helping someone with something like this. Here's how to do it, so you don't have to work with me, you can just do it. So I have a friend that I've known for several years, like a colleague kind of thing, like a copywriting colleague, and he said that he's struggling in his business. The offer that he's had no longer works. He's struggling because AI is replacing him and people are doing things with AI and no longer needing yada yada yada. So I suggested to him, well, you probably need to have a new offer, you need to try something new. What you need to do is you need to find what's unique about you in your situation. The unique journey you've gone on in business. Where can people find value in that? He was clueless, he doesn't know. So I said, what you need to do is email the people that have bought from you in the past and ask them what they think is unique about you, what your unique journey's been, how you can, what they think is good and unique about you, and then you do that with an attitude of humility and genuinely you want to know so you can serve people better. That's humility. Humble service kind of thing. And then people that have bought from you in the past, I'm going to tell you what they like about you, what they think is unique about you, and then the people that reply, you can then kind of use that as a foundation to get an idea of what other people objectively think your gift is or gifts are. And then you can integrate that with what you think it is, and then we can work together to find what's the best way that you can steward these gifts for the biggest kingdom impact and to help as many people as possible. And that's what you have to do. That's the next thing. And then when we've anchored your identity in Christ, we've helped you cast a vision of what your unique business situation would look like through the lens of pursuing Christ-likeness for the biggest impact possible. When we've identified what your unique gifts are, both objectively, subjectively, and what we think it is, we can then find the best way to steward your gifts. And then it's sort of, okay, so you now have you've identified your calling, you know your vision, you know what your unique gifts are. The next thing is that you have to look at, well, okay, if you anchor in Christ, if you cast your business vision on what it means to become Christ-like, becoming Christ-like by its definition is infinite, eternal, perfect. So what does infinite mean? Imagine infinite. You can't. We cannot understand it. This is the thing, isn't it? You can't define infinite. You can't imagine it. It's incomprehensible. What about eternal? You can't comprehend what eternal means. What does perfect mean? Well, you have an idea of what perfect means, but no matter how perfect something is, there's always something that you can make better, especially when it's sort of the evolution of you in character development. It's impossible to attain. So what do? You have to take this from all up there, this is intangible, infinite and perfect, and we have to bring it down, 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 into something that is tangible, such as the short-term goals. Short-term goal might be a quarterly goal. So what can you do in the next 90 days, which moves you closer towards this vision in Christ-like, which you've anchored towards? And we'll work on that together. We can help you uncover what that is, set the 90-day goals, and then from 90 days we can make the shorter goals, monthly, weekly, daily goals, and then all of this goes down to you want to have a fundamental transformation in the way that you do things, so that acting in a way that's Christ-like is as natural to you as breathing. And how you do that is we have to find ways that you can be behave in a Christ-like way through your business and in your life and in everything that you do in the smallest units of time possible, which would be your decisions. Each individual decision, each individual micro decision, you have to consciously make the decision to act in a Christ-like way. Because if you don't, you will unconsciously make decisions to act in a way that probably isn't aligned with Christ, based on your worldly, fleshly desires. But more importantly, if we're in a transactional, secular, workforce, marketplace, business environment, it means that the environment around us is completely oriented towards the transactional goals, the worldly goals, which predominantly is money, which is focusing on money is contradictory to what you need to do if you want to anchor in Christ. Side note, if you're anchoring Christ, money almost certainly, to be precise in my language, will come as a byproduct, and then it's when you have some kind of a mindset on how you can steward your finances in a way that is Christ-like, so that the more money you get, the more you can steward it for kingdom impact in a way that you define. That gives you fulfillment, joy, all of these good things. Focusing on money, which is the typical North Star in businesses, money, KPI, sales, blah, blah, blah. You can't focus on that and the transformation as well, because there's that contradiction between them. So if this is what the environment is that you're in, you need to be able to consciously make decisions to become Christ-like every single day, every unit, every second, every minute, every decision, every interaction you have with your team, contractors, service providers, prospects, clients, followers on social media, whatever it is. You have to have that mindset of becoming Christ-like, because if you don't, the environment you're in is pulling you away from it. And I can show you how to do that. It's a habit. It's something that I do. It's something that you have to do. You have to consciously do and I can provide the accountability and systems and stuff for you to do that as well. And the way that I do it is, so a prayer that I would say in the morning, and one, not all, but one characteristic of a prayer is to set your aim, set your intention, set your goals, as well as it is to have a two-way communication with God. One part of prayer is to set your aim. You can pray and do this if you're a non-Christian too, because it works. So if you set your aim, if you pray every morning with the intention of setting your aim, everything that you do throughout the rest of the day is going to be aligned with what you've said, especially if you reflect on it. And then if you remember that prayer throughout the day and then you stop and reflect on it again, it means that all it rewires your brain so you're focused on aligning with what your prayer is, which is to set your aim, which is ultimately, the more you do it, the more clarity you are, the more consciously aware you are of doing it. What for me personally, it's to help me be a blessing to as many people as I possibly can today in everything that I do. So that's business, recording this video, when I get up and do things with my family later. What can I do to be a blessing to as many people as possible? And then you say that in the morning, you remember it throughout the day, and then you say it again, and then at night time you say it again, and what you do this over a long enough period of time, and then it just becomes automatic with what you do. And then you are looking at how you can be a blessing to people in every situation. You know, if you want to become Christ-like, you would adopt that a bit more and say, how can I help me act on extravagant love to everyone that I've interacted with today? Help me to pursue excellence in what I do for the benefit of others. Help me to remain and have integrity in everything that I do, even when it goes against my best interest. Help me to always have a mindset of humble service, to keep me rooted, to keep me grounded. And when you do that over a period of time, combined with having an attitude of gratitude. So I know it again, that one thing that I do is I've set a group up with my wife and two close friends. Every day we have a group and we share what we're grateful for. I've done it consistently every single day for several months since we started up. The other people in the group aren't as consistent as me, but it is so important, because having a mindset of starting your day with what you're grateful for, you focus on what you have and rather than what you don't have. So when you combine that with the prayers that I've just mentioned, you know, it just, everything you do has meaning, has purpose. You're grateful for what you have. It helps you to become consciously aware to make those decisions every day, whenever you can, to align with Christ-likeness. And then that means every day you are making incremental progress towards your vision that you have casted for your business, which is anchored in becoming Christ-like. And that's how you take the big one up here all the way down to the smallest unit at a time. And then you know deep down in your inner being that you are on an infinite quest of making incremental progress. You're getting better and better every day. You're impacting more and more people every day in a way that you are basically progressing towards what your goal is. Compare that to you don't do this proactively, but instead you're reactively, and then you do things reactively, and then you don't consciously make the small decisions in each unit of time, and instead the secular transactional world around you in the marketplace and influencing your micro decisions on a day-to-day basis, and then fast forward days, weeks, months, years, and then this is where you're in a situation where you just, maybe you fell out of love with your business, you find that there's a disconnect between your faith and what you want to do and impact others and the environment that you're in, and all of the negative things that go against it. You know, which would you prefer? I've lived through the former, where, you know, I struggled a lot in business, and then I found a solution. Check out the other videos in order to hear what the story is. I know which I prefer. And just finally, something Jordan Peterson said, which is, in order to have the most meaning and purpose and fulfillment in your life, you need to take on the biggest responsibility that you can imagine. And from the Christian lens, that means that you pick up your cross and carry it. You take on the biggest responsibility that you can envision, and then you make incremental progress on a day-to-day basis, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade for your entire life, towards whatever it is that you've defined as that biggest responsibility. And there's nothing bigger than becoming Christ-like, and that will transform the way that you view business, transform the way that you do things in life, transform the way that you will be able to impact and influence and help other people, and ultimately transform the way that you do things. And focusing on this, you will then have money as a byproduct. Almost certainly, money will come as a byproduct of this, but you don't have the burnout, you don't have all the problems, and you'll probably make far more money than you would before. But then you also feel much better because you adapt the mindset of correct financial stewardship, which means that all the money that you make, you aren't going to be using for Kingdom Impact anyway. So overall, it's just a win-win-win situation for you, for people you interact with, for everyone. And that's essentially the overview of what the framework is. I'm looking to try this out on a few people. Specifically, to start off with, I want to try people that have gone through a very similar experience to me, which is that you are an entrepreneur that struggles to find meaning and purpose in what you're doing. You have a high ticket offer. That's because I've sold my own service as a high service, which is a high ticket offer, and that's what I've helped clients with for a long time. So I'm very familiar with how this works, and I've undergone the transformation of the lack of meaning and purpose of what I've done, and all of the negative things that have come as a result of it, crashed and burned, and kind of the rebirth, all the pain and struggle of shutting my own business, and I've gone through it all, and I'm aware of what the problems were, what the warning signs are, and now I'm literally trying to build Kingdom Impact Lab, my second business, on biblical principles, and that's what my experiment is. And I'd love to invite a few people that this resonates with to see if, at least, let me see if it works for you. I want to test it. If it works for you, it'll work for other people. So if that resonates with you, get in touch and let's get in touch and let's chat. See you in the next video.